very pleasant Thursday morning to you. Welcome once again to Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM. A very special morning to the entire team. A very special morning to the Bridge 99 FM team. A pleasant morning to the Bridge Nation. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will give you the details after we play this one from our sister, Marjorie K. Brownie. Do you have a vision? Do you have a dream? Do you know the difference between? Thank you very much, Mr. Myrie. So we want to welcome live on Zoom Opal Palmer Adisa. And you heard us tell you a little bit about her a while ago. She is a Jamaican-born award-winning poet, etc., etc., etc. So a very special good morning to you.
A very special good morning to you too. I saw you having lots of fun, and that always lifts my spirit when I see people having fun.
Nice. I really hope it makes you have some fun too with us.
I'm sure it will.
All right, fine. All right. So, in order for us to know a little bit, you are Dr. Opal Palmer, right?
I am that, yes.
Right. Okay. So, tell us a little bit about Opal and help us better understand Dr. Adisa.
Well, I think I'll start with the Dr. Adisa part because I just came off the road. I am the organizer of Thursdays in Black, in which we protest or we try to educate the community about gender-based violence against women and children. So we had a protest this morning, a silent protest, or not a silent, but a peaceful protest right at Matilda's Corner in Ligonier from 9 to 12. So I just left at 11 to come and do this. What do you need to know about me? I am very much engaged by life. I love Jamaica in all of its complexities and all of its gyrations and all the things that need to be solved, which is why I'm working on gender-based violence. I am a writer, an activist, and an academic, and I think I weave all of those three things into one. Because a lot of my work is about Jamaica and is about healing. I think that's really what my work is about and what my job is about. When I teach, it's to give students knowledge so they can heal and empower themselves. When I do the advocacy regarding gender-based violence, it's so that we can all heal, both the victims as well as the perpetrator. Because in order for us to have a society that is going to be wholesome, that is going to really have a future for all of us need to heal from the traumas of, enslavement and colonialism and the modern day's trauma. So we have to be really conscious that we are daily warding off trauma, and how do we heal ourselves so that we can remain as positive and vibrant as you were, before the break, as I was seeing, because that's what I want to see in everybody.
To be honest, it's a process, and there are times when you don't feel that way, but we have to get the tools. As you spoke about healing, we have to educate our people as to the tools that we need for healing, because there are tools, and it is my opinion that the arts is definitely one of the tools that we need to heal. You kind of answered the question for me, but if you could go a little deeper into it. A novelist, performance artist, educator, award-winning poet. How does one influence the other? You spoke of that, weaving, and that common thread. How does one influence the other?
Well, 2 days ago was World Poetry Day, and so the theme that I presented was on healing, and I wanted to influence poets and writers and those who are interested in poetry and writing to understand, as you say, that the arts is one way of healing. I mean, data suggests that when people are going through grief or mourning, poetry is one of the things they turn to, and we know that dance and other art forms, visual arts, have helped to heal and help to center people who are in institutions of insane asylum or other such places. So for me, I think because I'm an activist, and because I'm a teacher, and also because I'm a writer, then the writing, that creative element that allows me to process, helps me then to look at how do I go about advocacy? How do I go about teaching? What is it that I want to impart? What is it that I want to share? How do I educate the Jamaican society about gender-based violence and why it is all our responsibility? It's not man and woman business. It's not cockroach to have time to get into foul business. It's none of those maxims or proverbs which no longer serve us.
Yeah.
It is our society, and if we want change, each of us has to be willing and brave enough to work towards those changes. And I also just want to say one thing else. A lot of us nowadays are in perpetual noise.
Perpetual what?
Perpetual noise. So we must take time just to be quiet.
Oh, Lord.
Without the radio, just hearing the birds,
Yes.
just hearing the wind whistling through the trees, and just be quiet so you
Yes.
can hear yourself. I start my morning that way every morning.
I hear
Just
you.
sitting and being quiet. That's therapy.
But I tell you something, that line, be still, that starts be still and know, it gains more meaning to me every single day. And a lot of the meaning that I'm getting from it now is, first of all, be still for self.
Absolutely. Because you see, I believe that we all have everything we need inside us. And somewhere along the way, the institutions of education and church and all of these other institutions takes that away from us, which is why it's important for us to be still and really listen. We can get advice from friends or family, but really listen to our inner calling and our inner knowing, and what is it that you need in this moment.
Yes.
And we also have to learn to take care of ourselves. Our historical conditions didn't allow us to take care of ourselves, but now we have to take that time and take care of ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I've never really met anyone in my lifetime who has never experienced trauma because of our history. But we really have to get in touch with the tools because nobody's coming. So we have to do it ourselves.
We absolutely have to do it ourselves. And, I'm an Africanist. I understand and celebrate my African roots. And I think there's much that we can learn from that has been distorted and maligned. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. I believe I accept everyone religious practices, even if it is against my core belief. They can do what they want as long as they don't necessarily deny me
Right.
to do what I need to do for my spiritual practice. So I think also we need to find that there's a very sharp line, I think, between spirituality and religion, whether it's Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Yorubaism, whatever it is, and that we each have to come to it from our own knowing.
Absolutely.
And I think for me, that's the really biggest thing, is that so many people are robbed of their knowing, and so they're just following blindly after various pundits, whether it's educational or religious or whatever. So be still and trust and know your inner being.
Whatever your knowing is, I think we were scared to actually accept one another. But we need to have this liberating thought that whatever your knowing is usually good enough,
Listen, most of us, outside of religion, we don't believe in stealing, we don't believe in killing anybody, we don't believe in stealing anybody, man or woman. I mean, sometimes you might be tempted, but for the most part, right? So those are the basic tenets of life, of humanity, that you do unto others as you would do unto yourself, assuming what you're doing to yourself is good, and that you're not going to cheat anybody, you're not going to thief from anybody, you're not going to murder anybody, and you're going to try to be respectful and mindful. When I walk in the mornings, whether it's on the campus or on the street, I say good morning to everybody I meet, right? Some people, and most people respond. But even those who don't respond, I say my good morning is a blessing for them. And it blesses me.
I have learned to stop.
It
To stop listening out if them answer or if them don't answer. because it really doesn't matter.
Exactly. You are blessing yourself and you're blessing the world, and that's how it's done.
Exactly. Okay. You realize we haven't spoken poetry, but I'm going to bring us right back on track. All right. So, you're currently director of the Institute of Gender Affairs.
No. We have
No,
a new
you're
director.
not?
I
Yeah.
resigned from that position.
Okay. Okay. My question still remains. How,
Okay.
because you've done it, right?
Mhm.
Right. So, how do you think gender influences literature and poetry?
Well, gender, first of all, influences everything, right? We're born into this world and somebody set it up that this is what a girl should be and this is what a boy should be. Now we're trying to break down some of those artificial expectations because we understand what they do, particularly, when we do not allow boys or men to express their feelings, it often turns into gender-based violence. And so we have to look at, what are we saying that is, this is a man and this is a woman. But how does it affect poetry? I remember maybe some 30 years ago going to a poetry reading in California, and a male poet, a very prominent male poet, says, "Oh yes, we're going to be having some women poets, and I guess they're going to be talking about their menses and those kinds
Oh
of
my
things."
goodness, how backward.
Right? But what he was saying is that he was not willing to hear women's issue, but we've been hearing men's issue all the while. And so why shouldn't women have a voice, whether it's to talk about their menses or to talk about gender-based violence or to talk about how they feel when they get up or what their process is? So yes, my poem is influenced by me as a female and me as a Jamaican.
Right.
And there's hardly any place where there's a separation because who I am as a woman is Jamaican because I was raised in Jamaica by a very Jamaican woman. So I can't take that sense and say, oh, I'm just a woman poet or I am just a whatever. I am just a poet. Yes, I am just a poet, but I'm a poet who is influenced and informed by my gender and by my culture. And so that's how gender impacts it. So a lot of my poems do focus on women and do focus on women's issue or children's issue because I'm a mother of 3 grown children, right? So we can't separate it and we shouldn't try to separate it. We should just simply acknowledge that we are multiple beings. There are many various phases of our identity. And so I just did 3, right? I'm a poet, I'm a woman, I'm a Jamaican, I'm a feminist. I could go on and on and on with all of the various roles that I've played throughout life or that I want to play throughout life. So,
but adding to what you say, life is already complicated, and then there is a culture that we have that just insists on complicating it even more, because men have to face the saying that art is viewed as feminine, and anti-masculine. So they have to deal with that. And we have our own issues that we have to deal with. But I think one of the things that levels the playing field between us both is that that poetry levels the playing field, is that poetry really is about feeling and emotion. And that's something now that is being expressed publicly by both of us.
Yes. And let me just also say, I love men. And as a feminist, I love men. And what I'm fighting for, what I'm working for is equity, is equality. So that we are each equal to express the full range of our beingness. And poetry does allow men. It provides that safe space for them to express their emotions on all ranges of things.
Absolutely.
And so that's a wonderful thing. And the creative arts in fact allow men to express their emotions.
Exactly. And for those who really understand the art, there's absolutely no space for judgment, because it's just people expressing what they feel.
Right. And certainly one of the other things that we as a people, and I'm speaking specifically as Jamaicans, need to learn is to be more inclusive. We're so judgmental, and we don't even understand that judgmental attitude was instilled in us during enslavement when we were judged in so many ways. And if we think about how we were judged for our color, our nose, our hair, and all of those things, then we should understand that we should not be judging anybody.
Exactly.
Right. And it doesn't mean that, it's a free for all, whatever. But it means that we are looking at humanity and realize that no matter what people are, we all came here the same way. It's the one divine spirit that brings us here, the Mother, Father, God that brought us here. And so it behooves us not to judge and condemn people because they're different from us, but allow them to be different and allow ourselves to be who we are.
Absolutely. I think the fear there among some people is that they think they are going to be giving up who they are. And because of that, it's like the teaching again, is like you can't love, Tom and Harry. You either have to love Tom or you have to love Harry. No go so. You can still stand up for what you believe in while you show tolerance.
Exactly. And this is why we need to also dismantle this binary thing of good and bad. Even a bad person, there's some good in them. There's somebody who will find the good in them. So we need to understand that there is a spectrum, there is a range. Just like with a Jamaican talk, I can talk real deep plateau that only Jamaican can hear me. Or I can speak in a more, in a medium, a spectrum of the language, like everything else. I can dress very conservatively depending on where I'm going, and if I want to don those kind of clothes, I can dress like a dancehall person, and it's okay too.
It's okay.
If that's the space I'm in.
I think that it's okay is something that we have to include in our culture. Just that phrase, it's okay, because we think we have to be this or that. And we really just need to know it is okay to be yourself. Can we move on to healing the world? And poetry as therapy.
That's a big issue, but it should be, I believe, our primary issue, because we can see not only with climate change. Those of us who are my age grew up in a Jamaica without burglar bars. Now, I would not even think of having a house without burglar bars. But there was a Jamaica where that was possible.
Right.
There was a Jamaica where men, regardless of who that man was, respected women and elders and children. There was that. It's in our DNA. It has not all been lost. So what we have to figure out is what's going on now. We know that some of it is economic disparity, some of it is drugs, some of it is environmental toxin. We know that all of these things are coming together and creating this havoc that's in our society. So what we need to look at now, what are the tools and what are the methods that we need to use in order to heal ourselves? Well, for me, the first thing is that we really have to go back to this whole notion of a village. That individually, we can take care of ourselves, and everybody know they have their own money, so we can have our own car, we can have our own house, and everybody lonely and, I dare say, horny, all of those kinds of things.
And right? All of that.
But may have my house, may have my car, may not putting up with anybody. And what economic independence has done for some of us is to make us very lonely and to forget the basic thing of life, which I think is for us to work and live and cohabit together.
Right.
Right? And because of urbanization and the fact that we all want to be in one space, people live in these, what I call, forgive me if there's any of you out there who live in these tenement high-rises, apartment buildings that are going for some astronomical figure. And you don't even know the person who's beside you. You don't even know the person. You don't know your neighbors. So we have to get back to knowing our neighbors, scheduling time for the neighborhood to come together and talk about the things that are bothering them.
But when we do this, which you speak, it is then that we have created just a natural collective of people now to start to talk their mind, because you see all that you just described a while ago, not helping us to actually vent in a positive way with each other, because having created that village, we know say no African village now go there without a stage. So one stage I go there in the village, and I saw poetry come in, and I would like you to help somebody listening here now who don't understand very little in terms of probably even what you just said, how poetry, how expressing themselves, how expression of what's inside can help them to heal.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the African griot, Griot, who is a storyteller and a historian, and a poet. And part of what the African griot's job was to know the history of the village and to share the history of the village with newborns. But when you have a stage to express how you're feeling, and I'm in contact with poets all the time and had a wonderful World Poetry Day with some of 8 of Jamaica's really wonderful poets who were sharing a wide spectrum, but all were sharing about how they were feeling about different things. And what it allowed us to do, when we clapped or whatever, because it was over Zoom, it was saying to the poet who just spoke, we hear you.
Yes.
You have touched a chord in us, and we are thankful that you've shared that, because it allows us to breathe a little easier and to feel that what we're feeling is okay.
Absolutely.
So that's the role that poetry plays on a political platform, on a village platform, on any kind of platform, because it will, if it is good poetry, it will touch a chord in someone else.
Absolutely.
And you would have spoken what someone else was feeling, and just by articulating it and giving it voice, that person breathes a little easier, and that person knows that I am not isolated in what I'm feeling.
And I too can express myself in the very same way.
Absolutely.
I was listening to one of your poems, right? And I really loved it. The poem, The Poet and the Poem. And, it brought to mind so many questions perhaps that I didn't even have before, but just curious, just being playful. Which do you think came first, the poet or the poem?
Lord, my dear. Can I say they were twins?
I love that. Perhaps Siamese, if you're going to say which one came first.
Yeah, they were Siamese twins. But even in that case, one of them gets birthed first, but they shared the same womb space, and they developed.
I love that answer. And finally, that's a wonderful answer. So every time it comes to me, I'm going to smile, because I'm going to remember that the poem that you're going to share is so interesting, because they actually have fallout. So when them fall out, it's like them fall out with themselves.
Yes, exactly. They're quarreling with themselves, with what they're seeing. Do I want to write about this, or do I want to write about that, or it's too much,
Right.
Poets go through that. Sometimes I say, I don't want to write another poem about somebody being raped or somebody being abused, you know? And so that is when the poet and the poet quarrels.
I love that poem, and I would have loved you to do that, but I'm just thinking that that's not fair. Could you close with a poem of your choice?
Oh my gosh, you caught me off guard. You talk and I'll find my book, and there's a poem
I will talk. You go right ahead. All right. So we're having a conversation here now with Dr. Opal Palmer Adisa. She's a novelist, a performance artist, an educator, and an award-winning poet. And it's been a wonderful conversation with her. We've been talking about healing through poetry. We've been talking about poetry and literature and gender. And now we're going to be appealing to the performance artist. The performance artist is who we're going to close with. So a poem of your choice.
Yes. Am I back? Are we back on?
Yes, right on.
All right. So I want to read this poem from my new collection, The Storyteller's Return, and people should get it. And I want to read it because it's about ancestors. And the other day there was a visitor to Jamaica, and I took her on the University of the West Indies campus to the obliques where the last set of people who worked on that plantation before it got turned into a university, their names are listed. And so many students walk by and don't even recognize it. And I think sometimes we don't give enough credit for the people on whose shoulders we stand. And we wouldn't be here if we weren't standing on people's shoulders. Absolutely. And we can judge them and say whatever we want to say, but we need to acknowledge them. So this is called ancestors. When we learn the name of the nameless, we will not be nameless. The storyteller is soaking in a metal tub under the tamarind tree. Lavender, basil, and lemongrass perfume the water. She uses the loafer sponge to sponge and song her body. When we own what we know, our knowledge cannot be unknown. The birds are watching the storyteller bathing outside in the evening air. They gather on the tree branch, chirping their assent, but warning, "Mind you catch cold, you're not so young anymore." Before all that, we register your deeds. Sweeten your yams with condensed milk and feed it to your children. Disavow modesty. Be purposeful, consistent, unwavering. The storyteller uses the calabash to pour water on her head. She closes her eyes, uses one hand to wipe the leaves that linger on her face. Mother owl watching, click, click her tongue. She sure forget cool now. Thinking she sees someone, the storyteller calls out, "Is Duppy or living bee?" No response. She giggles but is not done. "Me catch you." The storyteller nibbles on jerk coconut flakes, sips lemongrass and mint tea, allows the rhythm of the drums to transport her, surging through her body. Every story has a night, and every gone home happens in a yard. The storyteller stands up and Kumina's home.
Oh my goodness. So Kumina good.
Kumina
good. Wonderful talking with you. So beautiful. And again, we invite you to continue to just compile these works, to share these works, and to use all that you do to be who you are.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And I have to just say I love your energy.
Thank you very much. And yours too. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Peace now.
Dr. Opal Palmer Adisa, what a wonderful conversation. She's a novelist, she's a performance artist, an educator, and award-winning poet. And we remind our listeners that we just celebrated World Poetry Day on Tuesday. It happens every year on the 21st day of March. So back to studio. Are we going to take a commercial break as we get ourselves ready now for the Global Connection, which comes up in a few? Let me know what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to take a break. So, good afternoon, New York. Oh, yeah. Don't worry there.
Nice piece of work, Mama. I like it.
Yeah, man. Me up on me Africa tune them now, you see. Trust me.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yes, for real.
A lot of waves all over the world, It's our music.
Yeah, man. I see him say it go.
Yeah, man. Big respect to Afrobeats and, all the music coming out of Africa.
Yeah, man. Sweet, man.
Yeah, man.
And you know what, sweet me. It just sweet me. All the whole of we stay one way. No matter all when me not understand what they must say, me know what they must say. No?
I'm telling you, Mama, the beat alone make you move.
Yes, man.
Yes, man. And that helps you to want to know what they're saying. So, I always try to find out exactly what it is that they're saying and get a
But can I tell you something? Something, Beau-Regard, I just understand now what it means, because sometimes, all over the world you see people who don't talk like us, who don't look like us, none at all. And
Right.
when we play our music, them seem to understand what we're saying. And them always explain it that even if them don't understand what we're saying, them feel the energy of the music.
True indeed,
and,
true
and
indeed.
that's the power of reggae music, where the African music is like, trust me when I tell you, you're listening to reggae and Jamaican music and you can say, yeah man, that one yeah hit. It's when me get a whole CD 20 at African music and it's like a reggae, me know exactly where they hit them the same
Yeah,
way.
man.
You know what I mean?
Mama Kelly, I was having this discussion with some friends of mine recently, maybe 2 days ago, and we were saying that, look at that, look how reggae music is making its way around the world. It's like a cycle. In terms of some places and some countries that are just discovering the music, and it looks like how we were behaving in Jamaica during the 70s and the 60s when reggae music and that it started to pick up and started to impact the world. I see a lot of countries now and a lot of people and young generations too in those
Yes.
countries and other nationalities who are really gravitating towards reggae music, not the
Yes.
dancehall but the reggae music. You understand what I'm saying, Mama Kelly?
Yes, I do. I get you. Something though, something that I have noticed, even with my travels, that reggae, absolutely, like you said. But you see, on the continent, they love it dancehall,
Yeah, man.
Not on them.
Yes.
Influence them big, and it comes out in the music that we're hearing with the collabs with our African artists. Kiddy a dancehall artist.
Yeah, man.
The ones that say touch it.
Yes. Yeah, man. And it's surprising to see that a lot of genres are adding dancehall to their genre as well. You have soca dancehall, you have Afrobeats
Yes.
dancehall. A lot of genres are adding dancehall to their thing as well. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. Music, you see, although we influence people with a certain genre, music really does not belong to anyone.
Right.
Because it's just like how you can't tell me because me feel to move my hip to the left and stop and then center and move it to a year dance that me I do.
Mm-hmm.
And my own, it favor feel.
What's our one?
Oh, it's ours. It's
Yes, man. We can share it and enjoy it, and
Yeah, boy.
make everybody get the best out of it. Mama Kelly, on Monday, we kicked off spring here in the United States, spring season. And even though it's spring season, we're getting those showers right now, the spring showers. It's raining today, 55 degrees in the tri-state area. So big respects to everybody who's looking forward to warmer weather and, just the summer overall coming in and getting this winter behind us. So a lot of people are looking forward to warmer weather now. We're tired of the cold, Mama, and I'm tired of telling you as well that it's cold here.
But something though, you see how the climate's really changing, because you're having cold times in March, in spring. And that really tells us that things are definitely changing.
True
And not so
indeed.
much just like we start get hot already. Trust me, we feel so bad.
I
We
rather
feel
the
so
warm
bad.
weather all the time more than the cold weather. I hear some people say, that you can put on clothes and keep warm, but I rather to take off the clothes and try to get cool.
That
you
is
know?
because you can take off for you, but in my case, you can't take off for me.
I'm going to Marina, Mama Kelly. I'm all right,
Yeah, but remember, so
Yeah,
we can't
don't
go in a
really.
marina, all right, like. So, what you lose to listen to the station is giving us a loop. Look here, me say Beau-Regard, this is me work from home, me a top engineer, you know. Because
you have to figure out everything. You have to figure out things, Mama Kelly. I saw it go sometime, You
what
might
me
not be
used
a
to listen to
second.
the station is me earphone. If me turn off, me not go hear myself nor Beau-Regard. So only lose me upon that one. The top engineer resign because me not, anyway, we'll work it out.
Wow.
Okay.
Two situations that took place in Jamaica recently that I wanted to get your input on, Mama Kelly. One
Yeah.
more recently being the young lady that we saw on the rooftop at the Queen's School in Jamaica. Any insight on what actually took place and how is that child doing?
No, say it again. Me fi turn down. Look, they
There's-
tell me if
the-
turn
the-
down with something so low, me don't even hear you. What you say? Say it
There
again.
was a young lady that was seen on top of a school earlier this week.
Okay.
And it caused a lot of, I believe the name of the school was Queen's. The Queen's School, where the young lady was on top of the roof, and I was told that some Other students had to go up there and try to talk her down, and a teacher also was on top of the roof trying to talk her down. Any updates on that student?
No, I don't. I have none at all. Can I be honest with you? Is it today? Today is one of these days when you're going to have to carry this part of the show.
No
So
problem.
I don't have much update on that, and our guest, I have not been able to download the information. So I've just recently gotten it. I don't download it because I can't read it while I'm on the ear, so I don't know nothing.
I got
So
you,
you see,
Mama.
if you don't hear me say nobody, Mama Kelly, Mama don't know.
I have you, Mama Kelly. That's no problem. That's why I'm here, and that's why you're there.
Right. So
Yeah,
you
man.
are run the one here today, please, and thank you very much.
Everything's sorted out properly. Recently, Coffee was on an airplane, and she tried to use a bathroom in the first class section of the airplane, even though she was in the economy section. And the flight attendant stopped her, and it caused a big commotion on the airplane. I believe she was detained by U.S. immigration, and they had to question her. What are your thoughts on that, Mama Kelly? Someone sitting in economy trying to use the bathroom in first class, and they are stopped.
I don't have a problem with someone trying to use the bathroom in first class if they're not. If it work. Because if we could have get away with it, we wouldn't have no problem with it. But
Right.
when you're stopped, you're stopped. And, you know, the word that came to me in terms of how she responded was entitled. You're not entitled to what you've not paid for. And it doesn't matter who you are or who you think you are. If I have a shop, let us say, and I am selling two products and one is more expensive than the other, because of who you are don't mean say you go and get the one that better because your name or your name. You fork out your money from any which part it there, and you make sure say you you're giving me cheddar. So at
Yeah.
the end of the day,
I totally understand that, and I agree with you, Mama Kelly. There are some things like when you pay for it, you should have access to it, and those who didn't, fork up their money, like you said, maybe they shouldn't have access to it. But I also understand, in a situation like this where, using the bathroom can be an emergency. And if she cannot, well, what if no one was at the other bathroom in economy and she went to that one? Then I understand the problem and why the flight attendant stopped her. But if there's other people waiting and there might be an emergency and she said, I'm going to try to use the one in first class, I don't see anything wrong with that, as long as she explained, that she really has to go, and that there's a line back there, or whatever the case may be. But it also raises the question: what is the difference in the bathrooms that's in first class and in economy? Is there?
I think probably you just outlined one. One line is usually a lot longer than the other one, and I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. But these kids are could be our kids, our grandkids, and at the end of the day, there are some lessons that life teaches you.
Right.
And if that scenario that you just outlined, it's certainly possible, but let us say that is the case, then your attitude would
Right.
have a lot to do with how people respond.
Your approach.
Because if you're going to have an attitude of entitlement,
Wow.
eh,
I
so,
totally understand. And that brought me back to a funny video that I saw going around on social media, Mama Kelly, in an airplane as well, where this guy was sitting at the window, and this woman and her young daughter, a toddler, was sitting in the middle seat, and the mother was sitting in the aisle seat, and the child kept crying that she wanted to go to the window. So the mother reached over to the man. No, I eat field chips. Eat film chips. And I asked if the child can sit at the window and whatever. The man turned to her and said, you know what? It's best you teach your child this lesson right now, that they are not entitled. And sometimes things are not going to work out their way.
You
And
bet.
the man does. It was a video that was basically teaching you and telling you, or sending a message that we're not entitled.
I
as
agree
as
with
much
that video.
as we think we are, no matter who you are, you know. And that also brings up another situation, Mama Kelly, where sometimes you go on a plane and there are people asking you to change your seat, your window seat that you paid for and you picked out, and they want to sit with somebody and they might tell you, ask you. Sometimes I understand if it's a parent and a child who's separated, but when two grown folks are talking about let us sit together so we can conversate and hug up during a flight, no, we're not going to sit down separate, you know, because I'm not give
Yeah,
my
and
window.
let us pay for the ticket together. But you know something, you know, this is a very interesting conversation, you know, because even in the case of that man who insisted that the mother should teach her child, that mother is teaching her child to be entitled, and usually that's where it comes from.
Yes.
Now, can you imagine, both of us in our age group are, you know, Jamaican, and we on a plane, no matter how we could have just born, and we there on a plane, a ball for people things. I can't people things, yeah, ball for, you know. I tell you something. When we look here, if you can go take a little sub because you're just born, you're getting it. But however it is that we for make the picnic them know, say, wait, what you balling for? People things. That lesson, that's a perfect opportunity, as I agree with the man. It's a perfect opportunity to teach your child not to be entitled.
True.
And it sounds hard, and it sounds, you know, the nice thing to say that, coochie, come over yourself, coochie, keep quiet. because it's not your one. And you know, if bad for people things, and you must learn that from your mother.
What you don't have, you must do without. Me know that.
See, so don't you remember the one?
Yeah, what you don't have, do without.
See him, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, this generation not learning these lessons, and social media not helping them, instant gratification, the whole of those lessons this generation need help with, and this is one of the ways to help them.
True indeed, Mama Kelly, true indeed. Okay, so Mama, it is 1:22, and we have got an interview coming up after the break
Okay.
with Miss Judith Richards, who is the board director and parent at the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation. So we'll talk to her when we come back.
Okay.
Great to have you once again, Mama Kelly. We have an interview, and I believe the interviewee is ready. Her name is Miss Judith Richards of the board of on the board of director and also a parent at the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation. Now, the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation, the JDSF, is a non-profit organization committed to empowering families and caregivers of children with Down syndrome by way of education and communication. JDSF is a member of Down Syndrome International and a signatory to the 2011 successful appeal of DSI to the United Nations to recognize March 21st as World Down Syndrome Day. In commemoration of the day, the JDSF arranges activities locally to bring awareness of the condition. As a part of this year's activities, JDSF will host a charity concert called Lift Up Downs. The event will kick off at 4 p.m. on March 26th with performances from Pastor Stephen Blake, Dwight Richards, and Lali. Tickets are now on sale at caribtix.com or the JDSF headquarters located at Unit 9, 1 Stanton Terrace in Kingston, Jamaica. Let's say good afternoon and welcome to our guest this afternoon, Miss Judith Richards. Good afternoon, Miss Judith Richards.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Great to have you. I'm here in the New York City area, the tri-state area. Mama Kelly is there in Jamaica. Just to kick off the interview, tell us, what is the significance of the month of March to the Down syndrome community?
Well, March 21 in particular is a significant day. So we know that Down syndrome is a genetic condition, or we would say a chromosomal disorder. It occurs during pregnancy when the cells are being split. So we have 23 pairs of chromosome. The 21st chromosome split into 3 instead of 2, and the condition, which is also called trisomy 21. So on March 21, the significance of the day is that the 21st of March represents the 21st chromosome, and the 3 that is split into March, the 3rd month. Hence, we have March 21 as World Down Syndrome Day.
Wow.
Okay.
So that was celebrated yesterday, not yesterday, on Tuesday. And so on Tuesday we wore lots of colored socks to observe the day. And so when persons ask, why are you dressed like that? We can say, you know, we are supporting children with Down syndrome. I have a daughter who is almost 18, and she's living with Down syndrome.
What is that like?
It has its ups and its downs.
Oh, what a beautiful child.
Up with downs.
Oh, what a beautiful
Yes.
child.
So you know they are very friendly and
Yeah.
they are very impulsive. So you know they do things out of the ordinary, and so you can't do help but love them. Yeah.
Where are you? You're here in Jamaica?
Yes, I'm actually right now at Ali in Clarendon. I'm the principal at Ali Primary School, so that's where I'm located right now.
Okay.
Is Down syndrome something that is detected during pregnancy, or it's after pregnancy that you find out?
Well, for the most part, it is after the child is born, but it can be detected during pregnancy. That is if you do that special karyotype test that checks the chromosomal functioning of the pregnancy. But for the most part, it is done afterwards. And what is recognizable is that these children are born with floppy muscles. So they are very flexible, and that is one of the most distinguishing feature, apart from the eyes and the facial feature, the tongue protruding, because the mouth cavity is small, so the tongue keeps coming out.
I'm interested to know what is the care like, or you know, the research, and how can parents be supported here in Jamaica who have children with Down syndrome, and how can the children with Down syndrome be made to actualize their full potential?
Okay, so we have a lot of limitation in Jamaica, but through the foundation we have actually done some research and found out that the incidence of birth in Jamaica are in keeping with international standards. So it is between one in every 800 births to 1 in every 1,000 births. And so the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation was the brainchild of Dr. Charmaine Scott, which is a pediatric cardiologist, who she realized that she was seeing a lot of children with Down syndrome, and she formed the foundation. So we provide support to parents who, we have roughly 500 registered members. And so we provide support in the form of medical, speech therapy, occupational therapy, counseling, eye screening, hearing tests, and we also provide grants to parents who, you know, recognize that the child has some talent and they want to do like some lessons, probably music. They are most of these children are musically inclined, or they like to do things with their hands. So the foundation provides support. But generally in Jamaica, even the school system is not geared to these children. And we have a few schools in Jamaica who will cater to these children. So there's a lot more that needs to be done. And the foundation is trying its best to provide this kind of support.
Is there a theme for this year's World Down Syndrome Day?
Yes, the theme, the theme that we use on Tuesday, with us, not for us.
Okay.
With us, not for us. So,
With us, not for us.
Right. So we don't want to limit our children because they're already limited. So we want to give them as much support as we can for them to be independent, to function in this society that we are living in, which is already cruel.
For real.
And to let them know that they can, go on and become whatever they want in life, just the same as any normal human being. Yeah.
We had a visit recently from Tim Harris. Tim Harris is well known in the U.S. and he's a motivational speaker. Mm-hmm. And he at one time owned his own business. He likes to hug. He wrote a little book called Book of Hugs. So they are, and with early intervention and medical support, they do reach their
full potential.
Full potential, are able to do things that are beneficial, right?
You know something, Judith, that I've always been told, and there are friends of mine who have children with Down syndrome, and it seems to me that most of these children, you can identify something that they're brilliant at.
Yes. My daughter draws. She makes jewelry, and she's very good on the computer. Children with Down syndrome are limited in their reading ability. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how she finds the songs that she finds on the computer, and she plays them, and she just go on the computer or tablet, and she find all kind of things.
Mm-hmm. There is one who I know who is a technical genius. You have to make sure say him not get no computer where no for him or no phone where no for him, because
but I'm telling you, my daughter download, anytime I give her my phone, she downloads things on it in a split second.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yep.
So they're talented like that.
So if we can just identify the talent, at least we can start to steer them in the right direction.
Right. And as I said, they need a lot. They just need a lot of support. And persons have to accept that my child has this condition, and I am going to work with my child.
Yes.
Ms. Richards, you just said it. They do need support, and they need the support of everyone. Tell us why fundraising is important for the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation.
Okay, so we do fundraising. Apart from the fundraising, keeping the foundation afloat, we also provide, as I said before, support in the form of hearing evaluation, eye screening, speech therapy, school fees, music lessons, counseling. So we do these fundraisers to keep us afloat.
Okay.
My final question to you, Judith, is that we are right now on the Global Connection, which is being broadcast live in the Tri-State. I'm sure your foundation would love to use this opportunity to make an appeal to Jamaicans in the diaspora, just those listening, as to how they can assist your foundation. What would you say to those?
Okay, so come Sunday, March 26th, in keeping with the whole World Down Syndrome Day as well, we have our main concert, which is Lift Up Down. And this concert was birthed from Dr. Charmaine Scott's mom, Miss Ivy Scott. She had a dream of, doing something to lift up the spirit of our children and families, and Lift Up Down. So we have had it over the last 6 years. COVID came in and we had to put a pause on it. But this year, we are having it again. It will be at Ranny Williams Entertainment Centre on Sunday, March 26th at 4 p.m. Tickets are $2,500. We have artists like Stephen Blake, Judith Richards. We have one of our own students, with Down syndrome, will be performing. The Mario Humphreys will be dancing.
Nice.
And La Lee, who is a popular entertainer now, will We'll Lego the bird and dirt bones and all of those things will be going on. And we have Terry Carell Reed as our MC, and VJ Sparks will be spinning on the turntable. So we have Dwight Richards and friends, Stephen Blake, Demario Humphreys, Lali. We're asking everybody to come out and support. That's March 26th at 4 p.m. and that's Ranny Williams Entertainment Centre. You can get tickets at Caribtix, that's CARIBTIX.com, or at the office in Kingston at 1 Stanton Terrace. You can also make a donation at caribtix.com. Did I get out everything?
Yes, you did.
I think you did.
I absolutely believe that she did, Mama Kelly.
Thank you very much, Judith.
Yes, you're welcome.
And I must commend you all at the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation for everything that you're doing for these children. Just making sure that, you know, they get a chance, they get an opportunity at a good life. And that's what it's all about. Because we always a cheer for the youths, and, you know, what better way to build a nation than with the youths.
Yes, and you can also visit our Instagram page. It is at JA Down Syndrome. So that's at JADOWNSYNDROME. So that's our Instagram page.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being on the program. And you said this Sunday is the concert, the big concert happening.
March 26th at 4 p.m. Ranny Williams Entertainment Centre. Tickets cost $2,500. Come out with your family and we'll have a fun-filled afternoon.
Mr. Judith, just in case you think you leave out nothing, somebody just says lovely interview, very detailed. That means you never leave out anything. All right, bless up yourself.
Thank you so much, Elise Kelly.
Yes.
Oh Lord, I've been listening to you for so long. But this is not your original station. You were on one of those
Right, but this is where I am now, on the bridge. And can I tell you, this forum that we're on here, the Global Connection, we connect with the Tri-State. The Bridge FM connects with the Tri-State every single day, so that's the charm.
Okay, that's great.
All right.
I'll keep up the good work, and God bless.
You too.
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful event being kept, Mama Kelly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You know, this is something that, you know, a lot of people in our community, we don't really pay attention to, you know, Down syndrome, Mama Kelly, and it's good to have her on and to highlight the fact that there are a lot of children in Jamaica, you know, that are affected by Down syndrome.
Right. There are a lot of children all over the world. It's just that the numbers rising here now. And that's cause for concern. You know, sometimes we really need to look at why. You know, it's one thing to just document that the numbers are rising, but we really need to look at why, what we're eating, what we, you know, why.
Wow.
Because, yeah,
man, and
you know, Down syndrome is associated with many things, like inoculations, vaccinations, food, that kind of thing. So
you know,
really
and
have to.
One of the things that I heard her say, you know, and I've always thought this, you know, when I hear about autistic children, and I could be wrong, Mama Kelly, you know, they say that, you know, where they're lacking in one area, the brain picks up in another. And, you know, sometimes you see autistic children, but they're seeing things different from us, and they do understand, you know, in a different way how things work. You know, ways that we don't even notice, they are seeing it differently, and it's working for them. And
I've seen that. I have actually seen that.
And that's what I heard you and Miss Richards say just now when it came to children with Down syndrome. You're wondering how them figure out certain things, and you know, don't give them the computer because they're going to do this and that. And that's something that we have to pay attention to as well. They might be lacking in one area to us, but they're more advanced in another area that we don't see. that
You
they're
are so
operating in.
right. And you can just see them little brain working, you know, and working the way, as you say, Beau-Regard, how their brain works, you know, because technically they are, I don't know what it is, but they're brilliant.
Yes.
A lot of them.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, I think we need to take a break and then.
Yes, we do.
All right.
So come.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. You ready?
Yes, Mama, always.
All right, cool.
You know, I was just playing a what's his name, Mr. Ken Booth, who celebrated a birthday yesterday. So a happy belated to him. Happy birthday to him once again. And
Yes.
today is Shaka Khan's birthday, Mama Kelly.
Oh, happy birthday, Shaka Khan.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy birthday. You know who I wanted to bless up for me? I keep forgetting to tell you, Whirler Girl. Boy, they were awesome the other day.
Yes. Did you receive the email, Mama Kelly?
I didn't. I received WhatsApp
Okay.
that you
okay.
sent.
Yes,
With the
yes.
jingles.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
yes.
beautiful jingles. And tell them thanks for me, please.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
right.
And there's some other things in your email as well that I also sent after that. So
Oh,
when you
really?
get a chance, yes.
All right, I'll look for them. All right, no problem at all. This one, let me say this. This is from someone who actually lives in New York, and him say, I was in Albany on Wednesday with the, I don't know what is 1199 Sui family, with almost 20,000 members, and it was a joy hearing the influence of reggae dance influence on the protest for better treatment and payment for healthcare workers. Get Up Stand Up was on blast, and Dougie Fresh played a set of dancehall before introducing hip hop.
Nice. Nice.
What's your
Reggae
response
music,
to that?
reggae is the music with the messages, Mama.
Yes,
Reggae can be soundtrack for anything in this world.
absolutely,
There's always a reggae song to, you know, cover whatever it is.
True, man.
Yeah, man. You know, Mama Kelly, remember the other day we spoke about the attack on the Brinks truck. Well, I want to say Brinks. What is the name of the company, Mama?
Oh, the beryllium.
Beryllium.
Right.
Yes. We all over here have it as Brinks truck. But you know, it's sad that we saw another attack. And remember when you spoke about the first one, Mama Kelly, and we were saying that we hope this doesn't become, you know, something too common in Jamaica. And so said, so done. It wasn't even 2 weeks, 3 weeks that they made an attempt again. So you know,
And it affects a lot more than we think, because right after that attempt, it was more than an attempt. I mean, 4 of the guards were actually shot.
yes,
So that was serious. And very shortly after that, one of the banks sent out something on our phone saying that the whole attack on the beryllium actually affected it created a backlog in their system. So they were asking us for patience as we come in the bank, because it going to be holding up for them system. I don't know how, but they said it affected the speed with which they got through their duties that day. So it really does affect everything.
you know, Mama Kelly, as we speak about this, I can't help but to think back to something else that I also told you, that you know we should get ready and prepare ourselves for a cashless society.
For a what?
A cashless society. That's where we're headed.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
headed towards digital currency.
True.
There's been a lot of attacks on the financial system, the banking system. Recently, I saw a video with Bank of America, where there was a long line of people in the lobby saying that, you know, Bank of America was telling them that, you know, money went missing from people's accounts, and Bank of America was telling them to call customer service. They didn't know what to do, telling them to come back. They don't know where their money went. And this has been going on not just in Bank of America, but other financial institutions where we see
Absolutely.
money just disappearing. And, you know, who knows? Who knows what the outcome of all of this may be? You know, we're gearing up and getting ready and headed towards a cashless society. And the more we see things like this with attacks on, you know, Brinks, and, you know, it is affecting the banking system of them getting out people's funds to them on time, it's going to cause a problem. And that is going to be the end solution. Let's do this.
Will it
Let's
really
use
be an
this.
end solution, Beau-Regard?
Well, I mean, the end solution could be the you know, digital currency that they want the world to use. Because the
Yeah,
paper
but-
money they're saying has no value no more.
I hear you, but can't there still be an attack on internet banking and cards and whatever it is they're
Yes,
going
well,
to be
that's
using?
that's when they get to full control, Mama Kelly. That's when they get, if you don't have cash in your hand, you know, and somebody else has access to, you know, just go up on a computer and can mess with your money, then where are we going to be? We're going to be under somebody's control.
It's serious, but you know, I don't think that the system as it is today have any solution, because you know it thrives on chaos. So you know, unless, as you said, the solution is actually
Not that it is
manipulation and
yeah,
control.
not that it is a solution, but you know, just looking ahead, I should say then. You
Yeah.
know, and seeing what might be possible. You know, we've seen these things in movies, and more time they give us the real information in movies before they do it to us in
True.
reality.
True.
You know, so.
Yeah.
And
You're
if
right
people were
about
to
that.
really sit down and think back and say, let me see some of the things that I saw in a movie before it actually became some form of reality in my life, they would find a number of things that they would say, John, well, look at man, a movie me that watched this fun years ago and watch it now. I hit me and live.
You know,
If
as
people
you
were to
talk,
really sit down and think about those things.
I remember being in the bank recently, and you know, where one or two Jamaicans are gathered, the conversations come. So the line was taking long. So one man said, "Boy, him struck up a conversation with one man who looked like probably he could be a businessman, and the other man was a regular man, right? So the businessman is in the line also. Business-looking man was in the line. So the regular man, I said to the business-looking man, said, "Boy, I mean, look here, how long this one taking out? When I left my money in them people, you know, if you know every day when I take out of my account and we left in there, and him not trust the system at all, and of course,
Yeah,
you know, he might try very hard to get me that conversation. But really and truly, I understand where I come from.
Yeah.
You know, because some of these complicated and elaborate systems of checking on your money or banking can easily be, you know, it can look here, it can overthrow like any. It's just who you would rather for thief your money. You don't know.
And if them get up tomorrow, Mama Kelly, and say the banking system crash, the financial system crash, what do we do to recover from that? When them come back online and your $1 million becomes 1,000.
Yeah, but you remember, so they have all the laws in the world, you know,
Wow,
for
it's crazy.
support what them are doing, you know. Let me tell you something. You see the people them who have doubts about the system, what you call them people, you know, where, you know, conspiracy theorists. I mean, it's going to be very difficult not to be a conspiracy theorist in times like these, you know, because there are conspiracies all around us, and it is growing, and the average person is becoming more powerless as the days go by. So, you know, for people, you know, this is a quotation that I always have to remember. It says, when plunder becomes a way of life for a group of men in a society, over the course of time, they create for themselves a legal system that authorizes it and a moral code that glorifies it. And it's true. So there is going to be a law that them can always enforce for support for them criminality. So we don't know about the solution there.
Yeah, it's sticky. We just have to pay attention, Mama Kelly, to a lot of things that's going on. So them
True.
want to indict Trump, they all know that a risk can come. So we
That
watch
now
as
go
well.
happen. Where Bada Cat said, say it in a Bada Cat voice. That will
never happen.
The same way, so. Because the system not set for that to happen.
Right. I'm watching to see what happens, Mama Kelly, same way. Hopefully, if they do arrest him, you know, there'll be other arrests in other areas where some people really and truly need to be held accountable for their actions.
When that happen, you, no matter what time of night it is, you text me.
All right.
Please, because no, make excuse you for wake me up for that one day. Trust me. Try that
No
now.
problem. No problem, right? That's all. Wow. It is 1:58 in the afternoon, Mama Kelly. Looks like our conversation is coming to a close. It was another great one, another wonderful one. Great interview as well, great information. Thanks to Miss Judith Richards and the Jamaica Down Syndrome Foundation being our guest this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure. Mama Kelly, it's always a pleasure. And Jamaica, you all be safe. And, you know, talk to you the next Thursday.
Thank you, Beau-Regard. Love you, New York. Bless up.
Take care.
Okie dokie. That's always a wonderful thing. So that was the Global Connection. And of course, we always invite you to be a part of the Global Connection, which happens on Thursday at exactly 12 noon now. 12 noon now. And until this daylight saving time thing switch up again. And then we will tell you when next. So until now, until for a while anyway, we're going to be having the Global Connection, and that's how we do it thing. We do a little interview, we talk, we vibes up, and we carry a little news and little views and them kind of things. Always a pleasure as we stream live to the tri-state. What time is it? It is now a minute to 1 o'clock. So it's that time in the afternoon. So we've been giving you hints about this. What that? Oh, my sister-in-law. I see a text from sister-in. Hold on a little bit now. If you hear you say, no, go up. You know, go up. Up in which part? Oh, we're going to take a break. All right, so we're going to take a break. And then a little bit of music. And then I'll tell you what it's going to go on. We have live on Zoom Sherieta and Mortimer. I want to say a very pleasant good afternoon to both of you. Song. Can I call you a bird? No. I can't call Mortimer. I can't call Mortimer no bird. No, sir.
This is a big bird.
A big bird. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you both. And I've been really looking forward to this conversation. Sherieta, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Elise.
All right.
Sure.
Hey, Mortimer.
Nice. All right. You know, I am excited about interviews like this. One, because I get a chance to reason with those who are now holding the baton, you know, as we, you know, life can be like a relay, and I'm talking to a generation of musicians who are holding the baton now, and what they do with the baton determines the future of the music, and let us just say Jamaican music right now. So that's one. And two, it is with some of our brighter musical minds. So I kind of want to know where we're going with the music. Let me just ask you that generally before me even start to go into the thing itself. Where are minds like yours? Where are you at in terms of Jamaican music, and where you personally would like to either see it go or to take it?
Well, for me, I can't even speak about the general populace in terms of the music industry, but my vision is to just create a space where I don't like the term good music versus other kinds, because you know there's a whole heap of emotions where that's concerned. But I think that Jamaica's musical diet can use some diversity, and I'm interested in creating a space where that can happen, where all types of music, all sorts of styles and genres that come from brilliant Jamaican minds can, you know, they can thrive without feeling like because you're not one thing or another, you don't belong or you're not being supported locally. So.
I'm sure Mortimer would agree with that because he's been chanting that chant for a long time. What do you have to say?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you don't know, like, you know, our aim is to create music to uplift the soul and the heart, comfort the heart, you know what I mean? And that's anywhere in the world, you know what I mean? The aim is to get under every doorway, into every heart, into every home across the world in a good way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Right. You know, as I talk to both of you, I know that this generation, like every generation, there's nothing new here, but this generation is going to come up and has been coming up under certain criticism by people who have the right to criticize. And it's very clear that, most people resist change, and how you are as a generation and how you see your colleagues and how you see the music is going to be a little different from how perhaps my generation saw it. Are you prepared for that? Are you afraid of that?
Well, funny enough, I listened to a guy this morning, and I think I agree with him. I think what this generation lack, and not even just from a music standpoint, it's just like an all-togetherness standpoint. The young not listening to the old, and the old not listening to the young. There's a separation, between the two, where each side feel like them right in their own right, and that might be true, but at some point in time, are coming together has to happen, and there's nothing wrong with that coming together, and there's a lot that can come from a coming together. So I think if we can come together, then we're good to go.
Yeah.
We restore some kind of balance with the music and other areas of our life too.
Absolutely. Sherieta?
Yes, same here. I think what I think also is happening, to further Mortimer's point, is that it seems as if one wants to eliminate the other. So the older folks want to get rid of the young people music, and the young people don't want to have anything to do with the older music. And as Mortimer says, there are opportunities there from the collaboration between people on both sides. And I think that more than even for the other thing that might happening in the industry, I think that is one of the things that's stifling our music industry. We need that kind of collaboration, because the reality is Jamaica and reggae and just all genres from Jamaica, they've touched the world in the way they have, because of where they're coming from, because of their roots, because of their history. And we're seeing that there's kind of some sort of, I guess you'd say we're sort of being ostracized because of a lot of what is being presented now. So if we can find a balance where we can enter the world with something that is a mixture of what has been and a forecast of what is to be and what can be from Jamaica, we benefit much more greatly than we have been.
I agree 100%. All right, we're going to get to the let's play acoustics here. Don't worry yourself. We're not gonna get there. But as I said, because we have you here, I have to have a conversation with you. Our listeners, need it. In terms of bridging that gap that you both speak of, I am finding that quality bridges the gap most effectively. And Mortimer, there's a song that you have, I'm going to come to your album, Sherieta, but there's a song that you have, Lightning. And that one is, I'm just watching it with a smile cross over borders upon borders, generations upon generations, because it touches the same hearts, it touches souls, it touches people's relationships, and it's done in a palatable way that it's going to be very hard to resist. Do you think that's the way forward to bridge a gap? Because it's easier for you guys to change, It's harder for my generation to change. But do you think that is one of the ways that your generation can help to bridge this gap? Quality, and when I say quality, I'm not talking good or bad either, but feeling, the human, ness of people, things that are universally similar. Do you think that would help?
Well, yeah, I feel like music that comes from a good place, anytime, and from an honest place, will always contribute to the bridging of a gap, to any kind of gap. The gap, there's so many gaps. So
many gaps.
So many gaps, but music will always pull the people together, and I know Sherieta, you don't like to use the term good or bad music because there's controversy, surrounding that, but at the end of the day, there is good music and there is bad music, I'd like to think, because Anyway, we're not going to get into that.
No, that's for a whole nother subject, you know. A whole nother subject.
Yeah. But I think if we all can kind of come from a place of just, being extremely honest, and it's just intention. I think that is the thing. Like at the end of the day, intention. Right. The intention will come out through the music.
Absolutely. That's so true. We're going to take a break, and that's why somebody who intends to be funny and just comical and to entertain oftentimes does just that, even when it's quote unquote bad. So we really have to steer far from some of these stereotypes. We're so forward. And we actually are going to be talking about the the event coming up this weekend. So Sherieta, you are the brainchild of the Black Magic Let's Play Acoustic. Tell us more about that. How it came up and what was your thinking behind it? We're not hearing.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I am.
Yes, it's better now, yeah.
Okay, so Let's Play Acoustic has been around from 2016. It started out with me and Choir, who you probably know as Siobhan, as well as our friend Ranny, who is guitarist for Stephen Marley. So we did a series of shows at that time. The last one I think was in 2017. And then we got busy with tour life and life. And so after COVID, or in COVID, I realized, boy, with how unpredictable life is, there are certain dreams I've had that I need to get onto. And so at the end of last year, my plan was to reintroduce the series and do a couple of shows in this year. So this one is the first of the hopefully many more that will be coming before the end of 2023. And the Black Magic edition Black Magic is actually the name of my upcoming project, which will be released later in the year. And so I wanted to introduce people to that by also introducing some of the most amazing Black talented people I know to the stage to open the series for the year.
Okay. So she said that she knows. So we're going to be talking about the people who you've invited, because it's quite a impressive list of artists indeed. All right, so there's a story behind Black Magic. Why Black Magic? What's the concept behind that?
All right, so the short version is, and the primary reason is, so I'm about to become a mom in a few weeks.
Oh, congrats!
Yes, thank you. So when I found out I was pregnant, I decided that I wanted to do something for my son. I wanted to create a project and dedicate it to him because it was inspired by him. And so the idea is to talk about Black love, celebrating Black love, and the magic that it creates. No, I'm not racist. I don't have anything against people, mixed race couples or whatever other race is, but I think the Black family has undergone so much hardship, and I think it's time. I think I have a responsibility as a woman who's married to a wonderful Black man to share that with the world, and since I have that inspiration, I've been inspired in that way. I'm just going with with what I've been led to do. And then of course it's Black talent. I was very, very intentional with the people that I invited. Mortimer was the first person I asked. Mortimer knows I'm his biggest fan. We worked together in studio. I had the pleasure of working on his last project. I sang on Lightning and whole heap of songs, and so I'll continue to work together. And so when I thought about the Black Magic and even the concept of Black love, I was like, who better? Because Mortimer, as a male in Jamaica, has laid himself bare. He's expressed vulnerability that men in Jamaican men don't generally do, and I think it's so healthy. So I said, I think he'd be a perfect fit, and without hesitation, he said yes. So
I love how you put it. Sherieta, you're describing it as healthy. I have to copy that adjective. It is so healthy. Absolutely.
It is.
All right. So there's that, and acoustic. Let me ask both of you, how comfortable are you with acoustic, and what if anything does it bring out in a performance that were it not acoustic it wouldn't come out?
You want to go ahead first, or you want me to go first?
No, you go first. You go first.
Yeah, and quite funny, like I do prefer performing acoustically. It's just more personal, more intimate, and I like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes, I guess there's time when I place, but I feel like when I perform with a band versus acoustic, it's just a lot more to consider, and a lot more that's on your mind. And, when the acoustic, you get to quiet down, and you get to talk. People get to hear you,
Yes.
and feel you differently than from a full band setup. As I said, each have their own place. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, the acoustic vibes just, have a more family vibes. Togetherness.
As someone in an audience, I can identify with that. It's like you let us in, when it's an acoustic set. Sherieta, your thoughts?
Same here. It's so intimate. I think. Well, I tend to write when I write my songs. They tend to have to lean more to an acoustic influence or acoustic vibe, and I find that I express myself better that way because you're not rushing to make the arrangement, and it has to sound this way and it has to look a certain way. You can just stand there or sit or walk in the audience, but you can really connect with people with an acoustic show. And so that's my go-to, that's my preference all day, every day.
That's the word. It's that connection word. Because for the most part, like especially when you're playing live, like full black band, you're like on a bigger stage, like way up here, and everybody's like way down there. And most acoustic performances kind of require everybody to, come closer.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even without saying it, sometimes people just naturally come close in an acoustic set, because I've seen that happen all the time. All right, so let's talk about your friends who are going to be, there's a word that you used, and I kind of like that word, or the way that you said it. When you said, let me see if I can find it. They're going to be sending positive musical vibrations, because entertaining people is nice, but then you don't really want a guy to feel like, say, you just come here for prance and thing and to make you prance. And think deeper than that.
So pardon me. As you said that, Mama?
Yes.
That's the gaps, I think. The gap between wants and needs.
Wow.
There's a gap musically and where people are concerned. There's wants, what you think the people want, and I think at the stage where we have to be thinking about what they need. So continue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who will continue after that? Sherieta, continue, because it shouldn't be so far-fetched to you, because I can see. Look here. First of all, let me just tell you how brilliant and a writer you are, how brilliant a singer you are. And there are songs that I have played, even this last one here that I just played, Don't Fail Me. And you take me to places I'm not yet ready for.
Yeah, she does that. Her music does that, man.
Her music does that. So having said that, I'm sure that you can identify with what Mortimer just said a while ago, All right, so let's talk about your choice of those who you wish to, the quotation is here again, you wish to have sending positive musical vibrations with you.
So, firstly, there's Bella Blair, who we've become closer friends in the last couple probably months, since we've been in the music industry together, but we've got to know each other better in recent times. And she's such a what would I call her now? She's such a light. Like, her energy is just so bright, and then she brings this feisty kind of she's just a firebrand, and I really enjoy her energy. It's not because we're not trying to be, as we talk about good and bad music and so on, and sometimes for some people that's topics, or the music it can have certain words or certain things in it, but we're not trying to, it's not about censorship, it's about expression, but it's the quality of the expression that's most important. Because you can say something, but how creative are you with it? What is your intention, as we've previously mentioned? And I think she does that really well with her music. And yeah, and one of the important things about this show is I really wanted to ensure that there was a balance between males and females on the show. I remember looking around the place and seeing billboards, and I just saw like 20 men or 30 or 50 or however man on the show, and one woman each up in a corner, or you might find two at most. And I said, for this show and for this series, that's not going to happen. You're either going to find a balance, or chances are you're going to find more females than males, because I feel like women, we need more spaces where we can thrive without having to be a particular thing, without having to be naked, without having to explicitly sell sex, or without being, fully Rasta Empress. There needs to be more space for us. So when I thought about it, I said we had to have a balance. And then there's choir. Sorry, you're saying, Mortimer?
No, I was just saying I love that.
Yeah, and you know something? I love it too. And Sherieta, there's something else that we have to be conscious of. There's an experience that we have as women that needs to be expressed. I don't think we're getting just that male energy, and it's because of the testosterone. It is aggressive, and there's a balance to that, and the balance needs to be made.
I agree. So that's very important to me, and it's, as I said, I've spoken to different females about future shows, and I was like, listen, my intention is just to bring as many of us, because I know so many talented females, but they don't get the chance, and there are not many outlets for them. So that's what this show, this space, this series is about. We're bringing those sounds, those songs, those expressions to people that may not know about them. And then next up is choir. As I said, you may know him. You have known him as Siobhan in the past.
I don't reach there yet, Sherieta.
Okay.
Who are the women? Just for our listeners' sake. Who are the women on the show? I know time, but who are the women on the show?
It's just for this one, it's just me and Bella.
Oh, you and okay, fine. Yeah, all right, go ahead.
Right. So to balance out the males, so there's Mortimer and then there's choir. We've been, I used to call him a musical husband, but I can't anymore since I actually have a husband now. We've been working together for so many years. People, like, the name choir might sound unfamiliar, but you know him from songs like Holiday with Ding Dong when he was Siobhan at the time, and Book of Rules with C Sharp Band, so many other songs, and he's one of Jamaica's greatest singers, songwriters as well. So this show has the best of the best that I can think of right now on it, other than people who just not available for the show today on that day. But, we really went all out, and we were very intentional about who we wanted to work with. And I think what we're offering is really great for us.
All right, let's talk about the show now. When and where and time and...
So it's going to be up by Eats Cafe, which is on the way up to the beautiful Blue Mountains. It is in Newcastle, or close to Newcastle, and the gates open at 2. So the idea is you take a nice Sunday evening drive up, you come in with your friends and your family, have a drink or two, eat some food, and then the music will be playing and you can vibe, and then at 4 p.m. the show will start. And we will run until probably about 8 o'clock latest, so you can get back down the hill, get ready for work, sleep, wake up fresh Monday morning. The tickets are for 5,000 pre-sold. They're currently on sale at Me Hungry, which is in Marketplace. They also have at Eats Cafe. We also have tickets at eventbrite.com. And you can also get tickets if you reach out to us on our social media pages. You can reach out to my page, Sherieta Sings, or Let's Play Acoustic JA. Let's Play Music JA, sorry. And you can also get tickets there. And at the gate, it will be 6,000. So it's best for you to get your tickets beforehand.
Nice, beautiful. I'm really noticing, not hoping. I'm really noticing that shows like these are doing well. I get why they're doing well, and continue to promote that quality, without, with intention.
Of course.
Absolutely. All right. So thanks again. Sherieta, one of these days, we're going to have a conversation about this song, Don't Fail Me. Because
Sure.
I say, may I tell you, it go down deep. And that's the one, may I tell you, say, it go deeper than where I care to venture. So
Anytime you're ready. Anytime you're ready.
Right. All right. Thanks again. And
Hey,
all
and
the best for the
suppose
show.
you guys get the recorded sharing now, you see me?
If
Like
what?
me know who get the in studio share, like trust me, oh Lord.
God help us.
Oh, Lord. Trust me, no mama, trust me. Like, amazing, doesn't even begin to describe her at all. Just as a
Brilliant.
person
Brilliant.
and her voice, you know what I mean? Yeah man.
I mean,
Amazing.
and something, really and truly, I mean, Mortimer said it so well, because you do it with such grace and humility that, it's your song would have fit our nice style and grace.
It's effortless.
Yes.
Thank you.
No. Once again, thank you very much, and continue to keep the vibration high. You left us with this conversation, left me with words, intention, creativity, and I think that's somewhere there that answers the question of good or bad in anything. You know what I mean? So wonderful speaking with you both.
Love mama, thanks for having us. Yeah,
Most
man.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Most welcome. Okay, wonderful. So I'm hoping that you did hear this conversation, and you will definitely support. This is, we just need to support the music. We just need to support our music, and for the people them who always bawling about them not hearing no quality, when them hear quality and them see a show where them quality music, support it, because that is the way that your show say you're really into quality music. So this is wonderful. It is Mortimer, Sherieta, choir, and Bella Blair, I'm sorry. It's on Sunday, March the 26th, and it's at Eats Cafe. It's Newcastle, St. Andrew. You heard Sherieta say it's Blue Mountain End, and the gates open at 2 p.m. and the show time is 4 p.m. and it really sounds like the kind of show that you will totally enjoy, the positive musical vibrations that are being sent. So it's that time in the afternoon. Let's do a little bit of this, and then we say so long.